There we go.
Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Computer's thinking. We are live.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. How are you?
I'm doing well. New area,
How's it going?
nice weather. Can't complain.
It is nice weather. It's kind of shockingly nice weather. It's going good right now. I'm in Dallas. Dallas weather is like lottery. 97, 53, 36, 85. It's day to day. You never really know. But great. How's the family? How's the baby?
Everything's good. Baby's 7 months old. He's crawling now, working on the dada. He got the mama down, but dada just not quite yet. Yeah,
All right,
he's good.
great. So a lot of action happening. Let's get right into it. Let's cover interest rates first, and then interesting thing is, we'll look at another thing that we're seeing in this market. Although interest rates are going up, we're actually seeing multiple offers. We won one this past week, house on multiple offers, but it's starting to get a little interesting, and this is just February. So
Yeah, I gotta take a breath.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
so it could get a lot more interesting here as we get into the fall or get into the summer. I'm going to share my screen so we can take a look at some things, or look at what's happening. Let's go with this screen. All right, and boom. Okay. All right. If you're looking at this is the 10-year treasury. All right. Mortgage rates follow the you're about probably 2.5 points right now is the spread over the 10-year treasury. So if you take the 10-year treasury and add about 2.5%, that's where you're probably going to be on a conventional rate right now. So is my computer thinking right now? Okay.
Yeah, the service is a
So you
little
can
bit
see here,
spotty.
this is over the last month. Okay, so if we look at 22 days ago, we were in January. Am I still good?
The service is a little spotty.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you a little bit.
All right, am I back now?
Yes.
Must be the AT&T.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The towers are down.
Do you want to end and start over?
Yeah, let's do that so they can get the right
Yes.
information.
Might be the AT&T. Might be a little glitchy. Well, no, I think we're good now.
Okay, cool.
Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the 10-year treasury, we went down on the 10-year treasury, which was a dipping of February. Now back up. A couple of strong jobs reports, and so where rates. This is a site that anyone can go to. This is Mortgage Today, or Mortgage News Daily. You can Google it. Anybody can Google it. Mortgage News Daily, and this will tell you about where interest rates are on every type of loan. Now, this just gives you an estimate. I will tell you that this site always assumes 20% down. Okay. So just keep in mind, if you're not putting 20% down, you may be a little bit higher on interest rate. And this is the par rate when you're doing 20% down. And I think the other assumption here is a 740 FICO that they use in their assumptions. but this just gives you a metric about where interest rates are going. If you see a red plus, that means interest rates are higher than they were yesterday. And if you see a minus green, green color and a minus, if you're looking at this right here, that means interest rates are lower. So anybody can go to the site and take a look at it. Mortgage News Daily is the site. You can take a look and see generally where interest rates are. Okay. All right. So let's, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So we talked about, we had an issue I won't say issue, opportunity this past week. We had multiple offers. And I will tell you, so you won on your multiple offers. I had 2 other buyers who did not win on their multiple offers. So it's getting challenging. It's getting interesting. So I want to talk to you, and talk about strategies for buyers when you're in a multiple offer situation. Because if you're a buyer and you're PCSing this summer, this is something you could run into. Okay. So what are your thoughts? So what's the first thing that you would, consider if you're in a multiple offer situation?
So it's tricky, right? Because when we submit an offer for that particular home, which is a new build, the property has been on the market for 66 days plus, right? So they didn't receive any offer. Of course, I'm not on the other side, but what that tells me as a buyer's agent is, hey, I've been sitting for 66 days. So the builder was offering some incentives. So it was like, great, this is a great catch. This is a great opportunity for a first-time home buyer. We went in and submitted our offer. After 2 days, we got into a multiple offer situation. At that point, right, we had to disclose it to the clients and kind of really strategize on, hey, what can we do to really obviously beat the competition, but also not break our budget, right? So I wrote down a few things that I think that are beneficial, that I do practice with my clients. At the end of the day, there's a ton of other ways to strategize. These are just my go-tos. So first and foremost is number one is funds, right? Knowing how much money you have before we even start the negotiation, right? This process can become very emotional for people, and people start acting on emotions. So knowing, hey, this is my bottom line. This is how much down payment I have. This is how much earnest money, option money, those things I have upfront. And this is about how much I can go a little bit higher if I do find myself in a multiple offer situation. So that was like our number one thing, right? We called you right away. Hey, this is a scenario, what it would look like if we went a little bit above, and then the client decided on, hey, yep, I can afford that still. It's still in my range. Great.
Sure. So I want to talk about something there when you talk about going above. So it's important. I mean, obviously you should be working with me and Soul, but if you're not, if you're not, you need to know, the metrics on how much going higher actually increases the purchase price, or it increases your monthly payment. I'd say 90% of people buy a house based on the monthly payment. Obviously when interest rates were at 2%, people were buying more expensive houses. Now people are buying less expensive houses. So, people say what they want about, houses. Most time you buy based on the monthly payment, what your monthly payment is going to be over a 30-year fixed range, unless you're buying an investment property or something like that. So for that buyer, increasing the purchase price, say $5,000, meant his monthly payment was going to be $25 a month higher. So, if you're not working with me or Soul, you need to have that conversation with your lender, with your mortgage professional, and have a conversation like, hey, what if I go $20,000 more? Or what if I go $40,000 more? How does that impact my monthly payment? Because you might find yourself having to throw on an additional $7,000 to the offer price or something like that. And you need to know where your monthly payment is going to be in that situation.
Right. And honestly, like also talking about the other terms in the contract, earnest money, option money, those are like good faith money, especially when you're in a multiple offer situation, like we were like 22, and now we're seeing it come back little by little, depending on the type of property and where it's located. Earnest money and option money, increasing that by a little bit, is just show that you're really serious about the property. Of course, there's always a chance that the seller can obtain this funds. Then that's a whole other can of worms. But it just makes it a win-win situation for both parties, right? So just keep that in mind, discuss what those terms mean and what it would look like if you were to go a little bit above what the MLS states, like, hey, $1,000 for earnest, let's go 15, let's go 12, let's go 2,000. Like, those are little things that really make a difference in the long run. And then, like Major said, right, communication. We are a team at the end of the day. I cannot do my job without the lender. We can't. We're not in this profession without the client. We want to make sure that everyone is on board with, hey, this is a possibility. At this moment, right, things are peaches and cream. You're pre-approved. Congratulations, hooray! But what if we get to a point where it gets uncomfortable, right? Where we have to really think outside the box. We like to prepare our clients for those events, so that when they come, we're like, yo, we're already expecting it. Okay, this is what we're gonna do, right? So it just feels like a whole team effort when we in this situation. When we, may just say, hey, we're in a multiple offer situation. I was like, all right, go time. Like, we got excited. We're like, okay. Even the client was like, I can do this. I'm like, okay, guy, hold on a second. He was like, I'm like, okay, go ahead, be an agent. It got, it wasn't frightening. It was exciting. And it just like challenge accepted. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands. Open communication is another strategy in this transaction. And then, of course, obviously, proper expectations, making sure that everyone is aware. And like I said, emotions they step in, right? You're buying something, you're emotionally invested, you're thinking about how you can live in this home with your family, but don't let this experience and the fact that we're in a multiple offer situation change your budget, right? Because at the end of the day, 30 days from now, we're going to close and you're going to be in charge of paying that, right? So just keep that in mind, just clear mind. And then lastly, I would say having the flexibility, right? So this particular client, he's a few months out. And I like to use the positive time to say, hey, if you're open to new build or finding a deal in the market, let's start thinking and strategizing and possibly putting an offer now, just in case we find ourselves in a situation that we did, multiple offer. It wasn't like a time like, oh, well, we're in a rental, so, let's just throw $1 million out there, or, hey, I'm gonna have to go with another rental. Have that flexibility, that breathing room, so that we can really think clearly and do the best that we can. And of course, there's so many other things, but those are just the primary things that I want to make sure you guys are aware of. Funds, communication, proper expectations, and then flexibility in your timeline.
So one point I wanted to bring up, it didn't hit us on this offer, but a conversation on the other offers. Now, I lost the two families who we lost out on, not me and you, but another realtor. We lost the cash buyers. Okay. And we would have won if that cash buyer did not come along. And the key thing for the seller was, what's your closing time? How quickly can you close? Okay. So I know we service a lot of military members, and military members often go talk to USAA or Navy Federal or something like that in order to do their financing. That's not going to provide you the quick closing time that you need if you're competing. That's not going to work. The reality is, if you work with one of those big banks, your realtor can call, and every single time they could be talking to a different loan officer. Or I'm on this file now. It's a round robin, because a loan officer changes at stages for those companies. So you have to be able to work with someone who knows, like, hey, this is my closing timeline. This is how quickly we need to close. Because when a seller is ready to sell, most times they're ready to sell. They want their money. So you can't have a 45, 60-day closing or something like that if you're in a multiple offer situation. In fact, sometimes it's better if you have a 21-day closing and you tell the seller, hey, I'll close in 21 days, and then you have another 2 weeks to move out of the house. And you do a rent back or something like that. So there are multiple different strategies that we can do. And it becomes about figuring out how to strategize to win. And strategize and talk with your realtor, figure out where you are. And the last thing I want you to talk about, is really knowing when to say, yeah, this is not the one, and I need to move on to another one.
Right. So that goes back to what's your budget, right? Because like I said, emotions get involved and people want to win. They want to win and the bid. And at the end of the day, it's like, hey, you're getting out of your budget. And also, what is your 3-year plan, right? Is your current income going to change? Is your spouse going to get out the military? Are you going to get out the military? Things like that matter. The whole picture matter. And that's why I love working with you, Major, because we mentor our clients. We have a consultation like, hey, this is not just for now. In the future, what does this look like? Because we want to make sure that we're building generational wealth, right? And then you're not in a pickle. If we can potentially prevent it, we're here to, create those boundaries and those, borders around you. So I think that's very important. And, we had that conversation with the client. He was like, yep, if they come back and it's a different number, then okay, I'm backing out. And like, okay, great. We have the bandwidth. It's okay. We'll find another great deal. So, yes, marry the house and date the rate. But at the same time, if it's not a good deal, it's okay. We'll find another one. And obviously relationship matter. And one of the things I wanted to close with is, back when we were in a multiple offer situation with you, Major, multiple times, and it was a lot of cash buyers in the market. One of the things that, I love that you did, you called the listing agent and said, hey, yes, this is a VA home loan. Yes, this is a loan compared to a cash, but I can guarantee you, and within the quickest one was 17 days,
Yeah.
21 days, I can get this done. We have the client is well qualified, blah, blah, blah. So, we have those reinforcements in our toolbox. So just so you know, although there is cash buyers, and of course, we're not going to win them all, just know that we're going to advocate for you all the way.
Yeah. And I'll add, sometimes when these sellers, sellers sell a house and really it's not really all about the money. I'm selling one of my properties now, and really we sold it. We went into escrow because we liked the buyer. Is a good guy, good young guy. We really liked him. We liked his story and everything. So we sold the house to him, although we had other options. So the seller is a human being on the other end also. So it's not just because somebody offers them X number of dollars that they're just going to say, later for this person. It's important that you work with someone who's going to really advocate for your financial standing, but also advocate for your story, your life, because sometimes, like when we're in Killeen, so often we have a veteran selling to another veteran, and sometimes they'll see themselves in the family that they're selling to and say, hey, I don't care about the other office. I really like these people, and I really want to sell my house to them. So we can go on for this for absolutely, but this is a good topic to discuss because the multiple offers, I think it's going to be an interesting summer, and you got to be prepared. But if you are PCSing this summer and you are moving this summer, even if you're getting to the point where you've been in that house for a year or something like that, and you're PCSing sometime between like April and September or something like that, we need to start talking. Don't wait until August and say, hey, I just got my orders. I'm out of here in 30 days. Come list my house. So that's not going to work.
Yeah, too tight.
You need to know what to expect. So, reach out to us early. I have a family, so moving to Tennessee from Hawaii, beautiful family, great family. We started talking probably 4 or 5 months ago, and now they're to the point where they're selling their house and they're ready, they're prepared, because you never know. There might be stuff that we have to prepare for. I did a video on my YouTube channel that talked about challenges I'm seeing when people are already in escrow and they're saying, hey, I'm going to move here and buy another house. It's a lot different when you're moving to someplace like Texas Community Property State or something like that, or you moving to a state where, there are different rules. You think you're going to do something with the proceeds, you have to do something else with the proceeds. So have the conversation early on. It's very important to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And save your money. Save your money. Save your money.
About inflation, you still got to save your money.
Yeah, tax season is here. It's coming around the corner, those refunds, but save your money. Talk to us, talk to your CPA before you pay anything off, before you make any purchases. Let's build a game plan before, you do those things. That's very important.
Perfect. Hey, so always a pleasure.
I know. Thank you so much for everything, your time. And I see you in a few weeks in Dallas.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.